Hello there, good morning, and thanks for joining us on Complete Politics with Chukwuma Okoro. I am Chukwuma Okoro. I hope your day is going well. It's a bright Monday morning. I know that it is bright where you are too. Now, on the show today, we'll be joined by the Abia State PDP Chairman, Honorable Elder Abraham Amah. He's a member of the National Executive Committee of the PDP. Like I said, he's also the state chairman of Abia PDP. Curiously, he's also one of the people that went to court, to seek a restraining order, stopping the People's Democratic Party, PDP, from holding the slated November 15th convention in Ibadan, Oyo State. But on Friday, a federal high court in Abuja issued a restraining order stopping the PDP from holding the said convention in Ibadan. Like Elder Abraham was one of the three people that went to court seeking that injunction. So he's going to talk to us about why he went to court, why they went to court seeking that injunction, what led to the injunction itself, what are the consent that you share that made you go to court, to look for that that injunction, which you apparently got. And you will also talk to us about the state of the party at the moment and going forward. Good morning to you, Honorable Abraham Amah, and thanks for being part of the show with Complete Politics.
Good morning, Chukwuma. It's my pleasure to be with you once again.
Okay, good time. Good to have you, sir. Good to have you, sir. Now, let's get straight into it. Why did you go to court to stop the PDP from holding its convention? This convention has been talked about for like forever. I know it's been put off several times. NEC meetings have been put off. The NEC meeting eventually held. And at a point, a lot of people believe that, look, the people had come to an agreement that the convention will hold on the 15th of November in Ibadan. So why did you go to court? And what are the concerns, that pushed you to go to court to stop that convention? Let the world know. Let us know your concerns.
Well, Chukwuma, it is a conventional rule of engagement that every organization must respect its own rule. It is mandatory. It is compulsory. And in a safe society, every industry is regulated. Every business is regulated. Citizens of a country are also regulated. Being a citizen of a country does not give anyone the right to act or behave arbitrarily. As a political party, the People's Democratic Party, being a major political party in Nigeria, is regulated by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's regulated by the Electoral Act as amended, and of course, it is also regulated by the umpire, who is saddled with the constitutional responsibility of managing the businesses and affairs of political parties in Nigeria. That is where the independent National Electoral Commission comes in. As a political party, we all look forward for a national convention, because it is a time when political parties will invent themselves by voting for those who will be saddled with the responsibility of managing the affairs of their party for another 4 years. It is also a period that they may consider some amendments in their constitution and upgrade. It is also a period where they present accounts to party members to know how the finances of the party have been applied. So it is what every politician looks forward. But in doing so, there are rules that must be followed. You are aware, when you talk about the national convention, those who participate in national conventions are delegates drawn from all the states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Some 2 months ago, in compliance with the Electoral Act and the requirements of INEC, the suspended national chairman, Ambassador Damadu, and the national secretary wrote a letter to INEC to inform them about congresses in 14 states of the country. These congresses were supposed to elect executives for about 14 states in the country. A week to those state congresses, we saw a situation where the national chairman, suspended national chairman, wrote a letter by himself and only by himself, without carrying his national secretary along, informing INEC that elections will not take place in 3 states. Those 3 states are Abia. No. Those 3 states are Anambra, Ebonyi, and of course, Cross River. So we were worried. And our question, because according to the letter which you wrote, they said, it came to a point where we now felt that this man is trying to take us to a national convention where Southeast will not be able to participate with over 60-70% of their delegates. And that will be inimical to us. It means that our voice will not be heard. It means that Southeast cannot participate actively. And of course, South has a similar problem. So the 2 standing state chairman in Abia met in Southeast North, myself and my colleague, Right Honorable Oscar Machuku, the Igbo PDP state chairman. We met and we had a conversation. And of course, Judge Turner, the South Zonal Secretary, also reached out to us. And we had a meeting at Abuja. We tried to reach out to Damadu. He blocked us. We tried to reach out to some other principal officers. They blocked us. And then we said, okay, since they don't want us to talk, we'll go to court and talk. We consulted other leaders and then we filed our processes at the Federal High Court. And the matter was assigned to Justice Omotosho. And by the grace of God, judgment was delivered last Friday, precisely the 31st of October 2025. Now, by that judgment, we are not saying that National Convention should not go independently. We are simply saying that all those things that need to be done before National Convention, like concluding congresses at various states, must be done before we now choose a date for National Convention. And then, when we got the judgments, we met and had a very elaborate meeting.
We seem to be having an audio glitch there.
We met and had a meeting with several governors, and in that meeting, and other leaders, senators, House of Reps members, state chairmen, drawn from several states, and other stakeholders, and we said we are still open for discussion. We are still open for conversation, for anything that will make PDP to come out stronger. And we were informed that the National Secretary has issued notice of National Working Committee the following day, being Saturday. We said, and that they will use the opportunity to talk to themselves. We were shocked when later we heard that a group of members of the National Working Committee, instead of appearing in the meeting which has been convened in line with the constitution of our party, which requires the National Secretary to send out notices for NWC meeting, that they failed. Rather, they went to have another meeting, and then the meeting with the National Secretary continued. And then by the end of the day, we saw a situation that led to the suspension of the national chairman, Damago, and some other officers of the party. That is where we find ourselves today. But by the grace of God, we are moving forward because the zonal chairman for North Central has taken over as the acting national chairman. And we believe that everything is being done to make sure that at the very maybe latest by January, we should be able to have our national convention.
Okay, all right, beautiful. I think you have said a lot, and you have also opened a lot of talking points on this issue. Let's start from the secretary, and the national chairman disagreeing in terms of correspondence. As at the time the national chairman sent that correspondence, to the INEC, informing them that the Anambra, Ebonyi, and Cross River Congresses will not hold. What was the position of the party at that time?
Well, the letter is even though, naturally, when you send a letter to any organization, they will stamp it and receive it. They receive it does not mean that they have really that the management have accepted the terms of that letter. INEC actually rejected that letter because it did not meet the requirements of the letter act, because that letter was not signed by the chairman and the secretary. So INEC did not deal on that letter, and that was why INEC still attended the national convention, the national congresses that took place across River State. They attended, and that it did hold, because as far as they were concerned, the previous letter signed by the national chairman and national secretary still stands. But somehow, because the national had not put the committee in place that was saddled with the responsibility for the congresses for Anambra and Ebonyi. So if INEC went to the venue, but those congresses did not go, because the committee that was supposed to come from Abuja to conduct the congresses did not show up. So that one did not go, but the Cross-River did help. So the letter of the national chairman amounted to nullity.
Okay, all right. Honorable Abraham, before we move on, our viewers are complaining that we are echoing. So I would like for you to put off, your phone seems to be on speakerphone. So put it on a normal, your phone, your device.
Let me check that and confirm that.
We need to correct the echo on the show, so we'd like for you to hold on for a few seconds, so that we can correct all of that and have a very seamless show. Thanks for being part of this show. And if you are just joining us now, this is Complete Politics with Chukwuma Okoro, and we are speaking with Mr. Abraham Amah. He's the state chairman of Abia PDP, and one of the people that went to court, and got an injunction restraining the PDP from holding the November 15 convention. Please do stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I can't really see anything that suggests that my phone is on speaker.
Okay, beautiful. Let's go ahead. Now, talking about the signature, I think there are two issues now that we need to understand. There was one letter that was sent to INEC, informing INEC of the November 15th convention, in which the National Secretary, Senator Sam Anyanwu, said that his signature was forged. Is it different from this particular letter that you are talking about?
Yes, it's different. It's different because the letter I'm talking about was a letter where the national chairman and national secretary sent to INEC to inform them about congresses in 14 states of the federation. It's a different letter. Then, and that particular letter met the requirements of both the Electoral Act and the Constitution of our party. Then there is another letter written by Damago alone to INEC, informing INEC that congresses will not take place in Anambra, Ebonyi, and Cross River states. That letter did not meet the requirement of the law and was jettisoned by the electoral empire. And then the letter you just mentioned about false signature was supposed to be a letter with some element within the party claim was sent to INEC to inform INEC that national convention will take place at Ibadan on the 15th and 16th of November. Well, the national secretary has come out to say he never signed any of such letter. And by implication, you know, if you issue a check to somebody and it goes to bank and you tell the bank that that check was not signed by you, they will not honor the check. If they will not honor the check. So as far as that letter is concerned, the letter is dead on arrival.
Okay, all right, beautiful. Now, Honorable, let's talk about the PDP as a party and the convention that has been stopped. Before the convention, a certain camp that belongs to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike said, look, I am not, Wike himself said, look, I am not aware that a convention has been fixed because the convention ordinarily is supposed to be fixed by the National Executive Committee, of which I'm a member. I'm not aware that the convention has been fixed and that it will not hold. At a point, he changed his position and said, that camp changed their position and said, okay, these are the conditions upon which the convention will hold. One, recognition of the South Congress that produced Dan Obi as the zonal chairman, the one that was conducted in the Southeast, returning Ali Odefa, which the camp said, look, it is a nullity, we will not accept that. And the fact that I think there were about 6 conditions. Now, how many of those conditions were met before you people went to court? Just asking.
In fact, we went to court because the national, the leadership of the party, as represented by suspended Ambassador Damagu, did not adhere to any of those conditions. Like, let's take the case of Ali Odefa. Ali Odefa had previously been suspended by his ward, and local governments upheld that suspension and even expelled him from the party. The matter went to a federal high court sitting at Abakaleke. The federal high court sitting at Abakaleke upheld that expulsion. And then all these decisions of the court was right before the leadership of the party. But unfortunately, they were not ready to obey the law. A political party must respect the rule of law. You cannot act in abeyance and behave in a manner which suggests or portray your organization as an organization that does not have respect for the courts. And that was why when we went to court, we did not sue Ali Odefa because we don't see him as a member of our party. Rather, we sue NEC, we sue NWC, we sue some principal officers of NWC. But somehow, Ali Odefa approached the court through his lawyers and insisted that he must be joined. His application was granted by the court. So at that point, we filed further processes. And in those processes, we made the court to realize that Ali Odefa is not a member of our party. We supported our claim with several affidavits. And above all, with about 2 judgments from the High Court of sitting in Abakaliki, that sat at Abakaliki. And the court under Justice Omotosho was very shocked to realize that a man who is not a member of a political party by law is being allowed to function as an executive. I will send the comprehensive judgment to you after this show for you to see what I'm talking about. And it's with that, and then we say you cannot continue to recognize illegality, because if we go to national convention and anybody goes to court after the national convention, all our efforts will be in vain. And like you talk of that Hobbit, who is by rights the zonal chairman of South, election took place at Calabar. The election was monitored by INEC. Results was declared by our own party. Results were returned to INEC. And under the leadership of suspended Damadu, he refused to acknowledge that new executive, but went on to impose a caretaker committee. All these actions were not consistent with any of the laws. The Constitution, the Electoral Act, the Constitution of the party, etc. And because of that, as I said, all the conditions previously given were not met. And there were conditions which you don't need anybody to beg you. You must recognize them. Because they were consistent with the extant laws. Somebody cannot go for instance, let me tell you, do you know that they didn't went to court? One of their processes, they claimed that myself and the executive of and the chairman of Imo, that our tenure has expired. Whereas the whole world knew. We brought several newspaper reports, which we submitted to the court. We also got a certified true copy, a CTC copy from INEC, that informed the court when we were elected and that our tenure will expire in 2028. But on their own processes, they had informed the court that our tenure has expired, that we don't have legal standing. Not even minding that what gives us legal standing is not even the fact that we are state chairman. It's rather the fact that we are members of PDP.
Okay.
So,
okay. All right. Beautiful. Now, I'd like for us, a lot of people believe that, look, that you are going to court was intentional to the extent that you and your team and your camp, that you purposely want to scuttle, the convention slated for November 15, because a lot of people also believe that ab initio, that certain elements within the party never wanted that convention to hold, because they don't want PDP to produce a presidential candidate. Before we talk about that, Justice Omotosho said something. He said in the ruling, he said that the party has 21 days to fix all of those internal problems before the convention. Technically speaking, if you are unable to do that in 21 days, which is, by the way, after the 15th of November, if your party is unable to do that, that means that convention will not hold. Do you think that the party will be able to conduct these congresses in Anambra, Ebonyi, and Cross River before the 15th of November for the convention to hold?
Well, number one, I think Justice Omotosho was quoted out of context. As I said, I will give you a full copy of that judgment. What he said, rather, he said the party will need about 45 days to put everything in place in line with the Electoral Act, because notices have to be given for state congresses. Thereafter, notices have to be given for zonal congresses of Southeast, and it is only after that that we give out notices for the national convention. So we are good to go with the national convention by January. We are very, very good to go. And then on the allegation of being intentional, of course, yes, at my age and experience, I should act. In my actions, I should be intentional. But it depends on what somebody is trying to define as my intent. For my own intent, my intent is not what they said that we want to scuttle. My intent was that you cannot deprive Southeast at a time when I sit as one of the party leaders representing the interests of Southeast. My intentions were that if we are going for convention from 1999 till date, when our late father Abia contested for the presidential ticket and lost under certain circumstances, up to date, Southeast supported the emergence of President Olusegun Obasanjo. Southeast supported the emergence of late President Yar'Adua. Southeast supported the emergence of President Goodluck Jonathan. No zone can claim that they supported any of these people more than Southeast. And today, they cannot charge us by reducing the volume of our voice in the National Convention. That would not be acceptable by us. We will use every instrument of the law available to us to pursue it to a logical end, to make sure that the voice of Southeast is heard. And those are what defines our intentions. And we are bold to pursue them within the space provided by the law, without any fear, without any regard to any kind of misinterpretation of our intentions. As far as we are concerned, we are acting in good faith. As far as we are concerned, we are doing what is right. And we will continue to do what is right. And we will continue to act in good
faith. Okay, beautiful. It's good to know that you have a 45 days window within which, to conduct the congresses. Within those 45 days, doesn't it speak to, the question I asked earlier, that the certain elements within the PDP want to ensure that the PDP does not produce a presidential candidate in 7. Certain elements in the PDP are the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. For you to answer that.
I didn't get the latter part of that question where you mentioned Tinubu, the President Tinubu.
Okay, now the question is this: a lot of people, Nigerians, sympathizers of the PDP, believe that a plan of some elements within the party, the PDP, is to ensure that the convention does not hold. And if the convention does not hold up until a certain time, you cannot have presidential candidate. So Nigerians believe that there are certain elements working within the party to ensure that PDP does not produce a presidential candidate, because those elements are in support of the current president emerging, more like the sole candidate, or that PDP as a party will not present a presidential candidate. I'd like for you to answer that question.
By telling you that PDP will eventually hold their convention against whatever some elements are saying, and that eventually will contest elections. But if PDP will be able to sponsor a presidential, a formidable presidential candidates who will be able to challenge the current president. I will suggest that we leave that for another day because it's a very comprehensive detail. I am ready to discuss that with you and expand and tell you frankly where we stand on that. But let me just open up to you very little. Now, people are talking of a coalition. People are talking of alliances. There is nothing written in any of our laws, both the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Electoral Act, which suggests that coalition should be limited to only opposition to opposition political parties. There is nothing there. And then two, I want to link this discussion to the First Republic. In the First Republic, it became very, very clear to the Northern People's Congress, NPC, Action Group of Western Nigeria, NCNC of then Eastern Nigeria, that none of them have the capacity to control the government at the national level. It became very, very clear to them that no matter what they do, that they cannot control. And they now decided to engage themselves and have a discussion on how to come together and form a national government. Of course, our late father, Baba Awolowo, came up with a proposal to our late father, Zik of Africa. Of course, Ahmadu Bello did the same thing, came up with a proposal. And then by the end of the day, the East, under Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, and the North were able to enter into an alliance. And they formed the national government. I can tell you for free that today, in the PDP table, there are two prominent voices. One of the voices believes that the party can produce a presidential candidate who will challenge President Tinubu and win President Tinubu. And the second voice believes that following what the party has suffered in very recent years, beginning from 2015, when Jonathan lost the election, that the party does not have the wherewithal to contest election against the current president. And that the best thing for the president to, for the party to do is to enter into an alliance with the party at the national level, APC, and support them for the president, and then enable them to control some states. Then B, to enter into alliance with other opposition parties in Nigeria, like ADC, like Labour, and the rest of them, and then form a formidable group to challenge the president. All these groups are acting within the law. None of them have committed any kind of aberration by what they think is the right thing. Their points of view are all acceptable within the law.
Okay, Honorable,
those who are accusing President, those who are accusing the FCT minister, accusing him that he is promoting the alliance with APC. But no, the same people who are accusing the FCC minister, one by one, will have a meeting with the president in the night. The following day, they will declare with the APC. So I find the FCC minister to be more sincere and to be more reliable.
Okay, not an alliance. Okay, all right, honorable. You laid out two options. A lot of people, will disagree with you because the situation you made in the First Republic, that was a parliamentary system of government, more like, and so at that point the NPC didn't have the majority to form government. But like you said, the PDP now thinks or knows that it cannot on its own win an election, so they are probably seeking an alliance with the APC or with any other opposition. I'd like to remind you, months back, the PDP said at that time that, look, the PDP is not going into an alliance. So why the vote phase? Why is PDP making that change now? If they are, thinking that, look, we can align either with the APC or with the opposition. Now, you mentioned ADC or Labour Party or any other opposition.
Well, there is no
why that vote phase?
Now, let me tell you, there is no statement credited to NET, the National Executive Council, and the Committee of the Party, where they said they are not going into any alliance. That statement, to the best of my knowledge, was credited to the disgraced and suspended Ambassador Domago, the former national chairman of our party. It was credited to him.
Well, he was I'm happy to say that he was the national chairman. He was the national chairman, and he spoke for the party at that time.
You see, the actions of political parties in Nigeria and elsewhere is a developing story. Nothing is static. You may not want to enter into alliance today. Tomorrow you may want to enter into alliance tomorrow.
Okay.
So nothing has changed.
Okay.
And the reference you gave. The reference you gave about the First Republic still aligns with what I have just said. If PDP, like NPC or like Action Congress or NCNC, knows very well that it doesn't have the wherewithal to pursue a presidential ticket for now and win the election, it is not an aberration for them to enter into an alliance with APC. And if that is the time of the FCT minister,
see the minister of the federal, we see the minister of the federal capital, we see the minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, who is a very strong member of the APC government. Before he went into that position, was there an alliance between APC and PDP so that he could move?
No, listen, let me just give you a very vital information. Before he accepted that letter, the former chairman of the party is still alive. He approached the leadership of the party and told them that he has been offered an appointment. They gave him clearance to accept the appointment. And my brother Chiku Malike, there is no law in the constitution of our party which bars a member of our party from accepting the responsibility of the service. What the FCT minister, the former governor of River State, is doing is simply accepting the national service. That is what he's doing, and he is not the first in the political history of our country. I remember my late benefactor and leader, Prince Vincent Eze Ogbulafo. He was a member of APP, and somehow he was also called for national service. He served under the government
under a government of national unity. Do we have a government of national unity at the moment?
The word national unity itself is a cliche, a political cliche that was made popular by President Olusegun Obasanjo to unite the country. It will go through our constitution there is nothing really like that, but it was, and whether you like it or not, it is incumbent on every citizen of every country at all times to promote every cause that will strengthen national unity. So national unity, that will strengthen you at all times, including your
Okay,
voice of the people
talking about
organization.
national unity. Okay, now talking about national unity, the government of national unity that was promoted by former President Olusegun Obasanjo had the APP. You have just mentioned Vincent Ogbulafo. It also had Bola Ige, former Minister of Power, I think representing the AC. It had Chuka Odom, from the PPA, representing, who was the Minister of State for the FCT, representing the PPA. I'm aware that the ruling party then, PDP, met with stakeholders from different parties and had this agreement to promote government of national unity. Was there any time the PDP met with the APC to say, let us promote a government of national unity? Give us one minister in the person of Nyesom Wike, or give us one minister, and the PDP said, okay, we are now giving you Nyesom Wike. Was there any time that kind of stakeholder meeting was held between the APC and the PDP?
The government of in 1999, when the primaries were held in PDP, the results were too close to call. And because President Olusegun Obasanjo at that time did not have up to 70% of the votes, that made him the presidential candidate of PDP. So the results were too close. And again, after the election again, he didn't have that kind of overwhelming majority. So from day one, he saw that there was a need for him to present the popular government. And popular government at that time was a government that would strengthen his government by bringing people of other. We had a lot of APP people in the Senate, in the House of Reps, several states in the North, several states elsewhere were being controlled. The whole of Southwest was being controlled by the Action Congress. So that was the situation at that time. But when Buhari came, we now saw a situation whereby almost about 60-70% of the government, both in terms of representation of state governors and in terms of representation in the National Assembly, both the lower house and the upper house, had come to a point where APC was having what I would call reasonable majority, even if not too bad. So APC at that time became very arrogant. So for them, you cannot talk about national unity within the main frame of APC. They could see a kind of national government already in place. They continue. But because of the political sagacity and experience of President Tinubu, who has been a politician for a very long time, when he came in after President Buhari, I think he wanted to test the waters with a kind of a national he wanted to test the water with the fact that will strengthen the national unity. And he brought in Nyesom Wike, as I said, the former governor of Rivers State. And as I said again, he got a clearance from the leadership of the party to move on.
Okay,
and
all right. I get
mindful of the fact that Minister Wike is seen by every Nigerian as a star minister of this administration. I am sure that after the 2027 election, all things being equal, if the other discussion on the table, which is seriously looking for an alliance with the APC, succeed, that we may have an expanded participation of opposition in the second term administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Okay, all right, beautiful. Now, Honorable, you talked about what necessitated a government of national unity in 1999. After the 2023 election, the votes, that Nigerians put together for Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi is far in excess of what Bola Ahmed Tinubu got. And he felt it was important, to form some kind of government of national unity. He invited the PDP, and yes, some wicked made it. So why did he leave out the Labour Party? In 1999, we had 4 parties form the government of national unity.
Okay,
in this case, why only
the point there is very simple. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, I'm not his spokesperson, but I think in their inner what do you call it, where they are planning their strategy and all the rest, they may have considered the PDP and of course the Labour Party has been very, very aggressive, because the leaders of those parties at that time, as represented by Atiku Abubakar, who was the presidential candidate of PDP, and Peter Obi, they were not ready for any conversation with the president or with the APC. They engaged the government. They consistently challenged the government, so they didn't make through. You can only form a national government, but there was a G5 already that was in PDP, and what he saw it as a friendly committee, a friendly faction within the PDP, and he reached out to them, and of course, on the basis of that, he decided to be one of them ministers, and there are a whole lot of others who are in the
all right, Honorable, I'm happy that you brought
us not holding ministerial positions.
Okay, I'm happy that you brought us to the point of the G5 and government of national unity. Now, what the G5 governors did during the 2023 election doesn't that amount to anti-party activities. So why is the PDP still keeping them?
No. See, when you say why is PDP keeping them, the PDP we are eventually going to see. I want to tell you, my brother Chukuma, the PDP, the emerging PDP, is going to be that PDP which believes in the philosophy and ideology of G5. And that is what is happening. Now, let me tell you. What does G5 stand for? G5 says, let us respect the constitution of our party. That you cannot go both the national chairman and the president to the same area. The other people were just trying to deceive every other person. When it was time to zone, they would say, no need to stop. I said, that time comes. First of all, they took the national chairman to North Central. When it was time for the president again, we said, let's go to the. They said, no. We will not go to the south. Let's open it up. They open it up. When I win, I will ask the national chairman to resign. We will now zone. And when he won, as the national chairman, I cannot ask him to return. So Atiku was grossly deceiving himself, and that is against the spirit of equity, respect for the constitution and the traditions of the party as represented by our founding fathers. And that is where G5 comes in.
Okay, now I'm happy that position, honorable. Should we still be talking about G5? Sheyi Makinde has exited that group. He's on the other side, so shouldn't we be talking about G4?
No, listen, we are talking about G5. Even if you have 20 governors with a fold, you will see, because that is the philosophy. That is the founding. Those are the people who founded it. That is the philosophy. We are talking about the philosophy. We are talking about the ideology. The ideology is the ideology of G5. It's not about, even if by tomorrow you have 20 governors who are members, it will still be called G5, because that is the philosophy. That is the foundation.
Okay.
Honorable, for the kind of political superstructure we are talking about.
Okay, Honorable, we are questioning home now. From all that you have said, do you think that PDP will survive 2027, or will it be subsumed under the APC? Are you working towards that? Because we see a lot of governors. At last count, Delta left PDP, Sherry Oborowei. He was closely joined by Uno Emo of Akwa Ibom State. And after that, we saw Peter Amah. Peter Amah left. A day
You
after
can
Peter
count
Amah left,
on and on and on. You can go on and
Peter
on and
Amah
on and
left.
on.
Now, Doyediri has left. Do you think that the PDP will survive this onslaught ahead of
I
2027?
can tell you for free
Or is it that
that
PDP will
after
be
the
subsumed
2027
by the
election,
APC?
I can tell
We
you for
also have
free that
senators.
after the
We have
2027
senators
election,
leaving. Members of the House of Representatives leaving the party. Will PDP survive 2027?
I can tell you for free that after the 2027 election, PDP will come second. That is what is going to happen. You see, there is a political renaissance underway, but that political renaissance will only happen after 2027. We are going to be, there is no party to compete aside of APC, which already wears a enormous power at the national level. I can assure you that there is no party in Nigeria that can compete with PDP today. So after the 2027 election, we are going to come after the 2027 election, we are going to come as the second, as the leading opposition party. That is the work that will happen to us. And we are being truthful to ourselves. We don't want to be among those people who say we are going to remove President Tinubu. Well, in the day, in the night, they will seek for a secret appointment at the villa, and by the time they come out in the morning, they will begin to talk on how to join APC. We don't belong to that category of politicians.
Okay, now,
In the
Honorable,
spirit of T5,
will it be appropriate? Okay.
We remain
Will it be
truthful to
appropriate?
ourselves. We
Okay, you are
remain
very
good,
truthful to yourself now.
and we believe
So, are you
that
lending
respect for the extant laws, the Constitution, the Electoral Acts, and even the Constitution of our parties are issues that we cannot joke with. And we will consistently align ourselves with the position of the law.
Okay, now one last question before we end this interview. Are you now saying indirectly, or in fact directly, that what Nigerians believe that the current president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has been using Nyesom Wike to destroy the PDP so that there will be no PDP in 2027? It is cruel to hear you say that after the 2027 election, that PDP will become a very strong opposition, something they have not been able to do between 2023 and 2027. How would that happen? So does it look like now, like people have said, that look, Tinubu is using Wike to destroy PDP? That is what it sounds like.
Well, if you know the FCT minister, he's a very bold individual, and who will not allow himself to be used by anybody. And if he was a weakling, he would have formally declared for APC before now. So I do not subscribe to the fact that the president is using him to destroy the party. And our failure to whether we are the opposition party is not in that. We are the opposition party, but whether we are doing the job very well, it's on that thing. And it's as a result of the failure of the suspended former national chairman, Ambassador Damadu, because he lacks what leadership qualities that is required to drive an opposition party. And that is why we see what we have seen. But with the reinvention taking place, I can assure you authoritatively and by the grace of God that after the reinvention, we are going to have a leadership that will be able to, in fact, will be able to drive the business of an opposition political party effectively.
All right. So I must say a very big thank you to you, Honorable Abraham Amah. It's been a very insightful and incisive conversation, and I hope that we can do this some other time. We have to leave now because you have other pressing engagements. I must thank you very much for being part of Complete Politics with Chukuma. Like I said, I hope that we can do this some other time. Thank you very much. We appreciate your presence.
My pleasure to be with you, and I believe that we are going to come out of all this better and stronger. God bless you. God bless Nigeria.
All right then. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Now, to you, our viewers, thank you for being part of this show. Thanks for being part of this show. And we'll do this some other time. We'll do this some other time. From me, Chukwumakoro, Complete Politics. Bye for now. See you some other time.